What is going on, beautiful folks? Is a beautiful, beautiful Thursday evening. If you're new here, my name is Lee Hammock, and welcome to Waving the Red Flag with your favorite self-aware narcissist, Lee Hammock. What is going on, beautiful folks? I am Lee Hammock, your favorite self-aware narcissist. Yes, you can have a favorite, and I am it. I am him. I'm him. And welcome to another episode of Waving the Red Flag Show. First thing we're gonna do today is bring up my co-host slash producer, Miss Jessica Montez.
Hi, everybody. So today's topic is what happened, or did you reach out to the new supply? And if so, what happened? How did it
Reach,
go? How did it go?
Reaching out to the narcissist new supply. A lot of people ask me that question right there. Like, should I reach out to them? I want to tell them about what happened. I want to warn them and things like that. And I tell people, so most times I'll just give them like a staunch no. I just hit them with the no, because no is also a boundary. No, hit them with it strongly, and I tell them no, you shouldn't reach out to the new supply and whatnot, because the new supply is getting love bombed. Typically, they're not really going to care what you have to say anyway. Like in a lot of the situations, the new supply has already been they've already prepared the new supply for you to reach out. They'll say just like, hey look, new boo. I love you. I'm just getting to know you. And I feel like I got to be real with you and stuff like that, right? I'm an abuse survivor. Like, my ex is abusive and she crazy as hell. Look, she's scary. She might reach out. She might tell you I'm an abuser. She might tell you I'm scary. She might, everything I just told you about her, she might say the same thing about me. But you love me, right? You trust me, right? You give me the benefit of the doubt, right? So they'll do things like that. And then guess what happens? You'll reach out, you'll say everything. It's like a script. It's like they gave you the script, and you'll say everything off the script. And all of a sudden, thanks for calling me, but thanks, but no thanks. They said you were crazy. Don't call me again. That type of stuff right there. So the only time I would recommend reaching out to the new supply is there's actually like some violence or some danger that they're in store for, or something along those lines, some type of assault on some children, or kids are in danger, or something along those lines, because the narcissist new supply typically doesn't carry out. So I was just like, and that's what tonight's show is about. Like, what happened when y'all did reach out to the new supply? What happened? What was the results of it? Because there's going to be a lot of different situations, y'all. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Sometimes you might get the police called on you. Sometimes y'all might become besties. Sometimes you go back to them. So that's what happens sometimes too. Like the new supply is so worried about you lying and you taking their boo, so they won't believe you because they think you want them back. So that's what happens a lot of times in these relationship spaces, y'all. So just if you're dealing with a narcissist or the new supply, just it's easier said than done, of course, because y'all been together for any type of extended period of time. It's easy for me to say move on and don't reach out to the new person, but it's harder to do. So, it takes a little willpower, a little resolve and whatnot to be able to do that and get through that and to survive that. Because it's tough. It's extremely tough to deal with, going from being in love to this, whatever this is, whatever you have going on with this situation. So, that'll be my spiel right there, y'all. And what my cat just came here. What we're going to do next now is, Jessica, we'll tell your story, right?
Yeah. All right. So I'll share my experience. So, so my experience is kind of crazy because I learned that he's a complete predator and that there were multiple new supplies. But I found out about the first one when I caught him cheating on me. And you can actually the show, on Lee's channel that we did, we'll kind of explain this one here. I'm going to post the link here there you go, in the comments. But anyway, so the first one, I caught him cheating on me with Jen. You'll get to hear Jen's story if you watch that, after the show or whatever, or when you get a chance. And she luckily believed me because I contacted her after he was caught, and she, realized that I was telling the truth, and we, sorry, I'm trying to get my mind straight. We got to like both learn what the truth was in the experience, and she blocked him pretty quickly after they'd only been kind of seeing each other for a few weeks. So luckily she kind of escaped. But you'll get to hear her point of view and everything in the link in that story. And then let's see. So after I found out about Jen, by the way, Jen and I are actually good friends now, and we probably go to lunch, I don't know, once a week, usually every other week, um,
So,
and have a good friendship.
so that's one of the situations where you reach out to the new supply because it was your new supply situation kind of forced upon you though,
Right.
because like y'all had Life 360 as well. You tracked his location. You mean
Mhm.
it was a cheating the cheating scent was in the air. And
Right.
he had just left your house earlier that day and smooched up on you, and then you
Mhm.
saw he was at somebody else's house. Like, hey, this is not your office, you know.
Right. Right.
So you popped up on him
He
at
yeah.
her house, and you were like, so your new supply introduction was on Ring doorbell.
Yes,
Yeah,
he was caught. He was caught on my camera, so I sent that to her, and I told her I'd send her whatever she wanted to know, for how long they've been dating because I had no idea. I just caught I was like, I didn't know what was going on. And she, the evidence was very clear, so she believed me, and got I got lucky. I got fortunate because it all happened by accident. And then she gave me her ring footage so you can see when I show up at her house and everything. So if you're interested in that, definitely click that link later and check it out. I'll put it in the description too. It's an interesting story, and it's really interesting to hear Lee's insight actually on the whole deal.
yeah.
So then after Jen, I actually got a message from somebody on social media who reached out to me, and she let me know that she had met him on Match.com in January 2022. He and I started dating in September of 2021. And that in February of 2022, he told her that he'd met me and he decided to pursue a relationship with me, even though we'd already been in one um, since September. And then he just wanted to be friends with her. So they maintained this friendship together until August of 2022. And he told her that he was starting to have doubts about me. This was in July of 2022. And that was the same time I was moving into his house with my daughter and like we were merging our families. He had 3 children. And I had no idea that he had this secret friendship or whatever. And so then after in August, he told her he wasn't allowed to talk to her anymore because I didn't allow him to have female friends. And then she didn't hear from him at all until April of 2020 uh,
Mm.
3. And then when she heard from him then, he asked her out to dinner and told her we broke up, even though we hadn't yet. We broke up May of 2023, May 24th of 2023 when I caught him with Jen. So she reached out to me and let me know this information. So this had been going on the entire relationship. I thought it was just toward the end, but he met her way earlier. And then so after I started this show with Lee, when we started doing this together, the kids' mom she reached out to me because was like, "Wow, you figured him out. Like, you you figured him out." Because she saw me and Lee, talking about this stuff. And she was with him 10 years ago. And we started talking, and she and I had a little bit of history because I dated him in 2008. And I was the new supply apparently at that time because she told me that they were still together trying to work on their family. But I was living with him. So I just thought they were co parenting like he told me.
Mm.
Um, but come to find out, I was he was cheating on her with me, and I thought I caught him cheating on me with her and broke up with him at that point, and we hadn't talked since 2008 until, we got back together in 21. And I mean, there was like one brief exchange 5 years later, but then we actually started dating again in 2021. Um, so she reached out to me and now we got to talk about the stories from way back then, kind of learn about, everything that happened, put the pieces together from the past and the present, and completely understand that we both suffered abuse from this person. And it helped validate her and me, like we felt very validated knowing like what we've experienced. It was like cathartic. And she and I, are also close friends now, and we're trying to build our relationship apart from him. It's a little difficult when you're talking with the other person who's dealt with this person and trying to now sever that to have a friendship that's not about that person. But so that's what we're working toward. And she's always going to have to deal with him because they have children together. So that makes it much more difficult for her. So then, um, so we got to get a view of like his pattern of abusing women, and it helped us realize that it's not us, and it doesn't matter who the woman is. He doesn't care. He'll use anyone that believes his tricks and that that believe that he loves them just for his sick pleasure. We started to get, that validation. So now, after I heard from um, Kim, there were 5 more women on social media that he was preying on, and he kinda does like a long game too. He was following them and studying them and then reaching out to
Mm,
them months later or a year later, and then, like, after following them, that had been out there had been, the 5 in the last 2 years or whatever, and, he uses his profession as a psychiatrist to kinda, like, lure them in and trust them, and they sent me the messages and everything that he was sending them. So, we all got that big picture, and then they all blocked him too, um, once once we all put the pieces together. Uh, so this just proved to me that the relationship I was in was a complete lie, that he was always grooming and on the hunt for other people, and, I can't actually figure out how he made the time to do it because we were together like 80% of the time. So I don't know where he found this time, but he did. So then, I learned he introduced another woman to his kids, about a month after he and I broke up, and then, she, he showed up to my house in October and triggered me. So then I unblocked him from Facebook and saw that he was in a relationship with this girl, and it said since January of 2020, um, 3. Again, we broke up May of 2023. So I was just like, "What the hell?" Like, he was with another girl this whole time? And so I reached out to her and I sent her the Ring camera footage that he was just at my house that week in October. Um, and I sent her the video from Lee and I that, I put the link in there, and showed her who he was and kinda told her and warned her, and she was concerned and she talked to me. And then, she was telling me that he was treating her pretty badly for a couple weeks, and she couldn't understand why because she thought she'd met, like, the man of her dreams, and he just started kinda changing, and she was also pissed that he was at my house that same day, October, I think it was 24th or something, because she had just loaned him $3,800 the same day to fix
oh
his car.
goodness.
And so she was like, "What? What's he doing at your house?" And he never told her, that he was at my house or anything, that he came by. So, anyway, after all of this, he found out that she and I had talked, and then he broke up with her, claiming she cheated on him. In his mind, he just told her, "I'm breaking up with you because you were cheating on me," and she was upset about it, of course. And she still like blames herself, which is really sad. And then they ended up breaking up briefly. She took him back. They got back together, and then he broke up with her again right before Christmas, or right after Christmas, and that was it. So then they broke up, and he then was introducing another new supply to the children about a few weeks after that. And this one, I haven't heard anything from her yet, but I won't be surprised if I get a call at some point, or if mother gets a call at some point. So that's some of them went well. Most of the women ended up blocking him and were like, "Oh my gosh," because the evidence about him was pretty compelling. And then
How many new supplies was it in total?
that I know about, there were 5, 6, 7, 8 now total that I know about that are all just like new supplies and people he was grooming and preying on. 3 new supplies where he actually for sure, or 4 actually, where he got together with them.
Mhm.
But that's all I know. Um,
Yeah.
but
You asked earlier, like, how do you find the time to do it? There's always time for new supply, It's like there's always time for a Snickers bar or a snack. There's always time to find a new supply or a new partner or a potential. You're always on the hunt. There's even if a lion is full, has just hunted a gazelle, he's always peeking over the brush to see where the other gazelles ran off to. Oh, they went west. So I know when I'm hungry again, I'm gonna just head west when I come, whenever it's time to eat again. So it's just the dynamic that it flows into. They are always on the lookout, and their phones make it just so you like, they make the world smaller.
Mhm.
Like having a phone makes the world so much smaller. Just like I can be in a whole new relationship. It's like long distance, but it's not. We can be in the same city, but it's like long distance. I'm like at home with you. I'm like, I'm so busy today. Can't wait to get off work. See you later. Hey Jessica, love you so much. You see what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
like
Right.
they can do that in front. It is just, it's all about balance and technique. It's just like the older you are and the more manipulative you are, the
Mhm.
easier it becomes to manage that like dual or triple or quadruple lifestyle and
Mhm.
whatnot. So
It's
it
pretty
does. They,
mind
they
blowing.
find the time.
It's like, I mean, it's funny because Jen and I, since we've become closer, we're good friends now. The one I caught him cheating on me with, she was showing me messages from him that morning, and then I was showing her the messages to me that morning, and it was like, he was telling me, "I love you, good morning," whatever, and then sending her a message going, you're the first thought on my mind today." And then it was like 40 minutes after he just emailed or messaged me all this other stuff. It's like,
Hmm.
whew. I mean, so for me, it was cathartic to see the truth, and I really get it now with this person. I saw a
Yeah.
lot of truth, but I think I got fortunate.
Yeah.
Um, I saw a lot of truth, and I feel really bad for the new supply and the supply before her, who's still, I think, I know that they're still in contact, so she may not even know about the newest supply that he's with and now introducing the kids.
Oh goodness.
But and I only know about this because the kids' mom and I are in contact, and she
Hmm.
hears little things here and there, but you know, it's
Yeah.
a brief stuff. But that's it. That's all the supplies. There's a lot. Some that most of the contacts went well, and they believed me, and they were lucky to get away. Um,
Wh-
and some
Why
didn't.
do you think that? Why do you think they believed you?
I think that they believed me because I had a lot of evidence to show, this person seems to have major issues, and the
Yeah.
fact that I had it from multiple women. So, like, with the other women, I was showing them the other women stuff too, and they were just like, "Oh my god." And I think it was because they were at the beginning of his grooming. Some of them were, but the one, like, the one at the toward the end, she was already being love bombed and all that without knowing all of this. But when she found out, it's so hard to, like, see it and deny it, even though she still did. She still did
Hmm.
and went back to him, and she told him everything I told her about him. And
Of course.
which I understand. Like, I
Yeah.
don't even judge her for it. I don't even I don't care. Like, I don't care what she told him because it's all true. And I just warned her. And now she, she lived it for herself. She can decide for herself when she's going to be done with him, or if she is now, or I don't know. But that's all I could do at this point. There's nothing else I can do. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
That just goes to show you sometimes even you can be kind, caring, compassionate, have a lot of empathy for somebody and just say, hey, look, um, this is what's going to happen to you. And
Mhm.
show them the evidence, show them the patterns of behaviors,
Yes.
and then they still don't think it will happen to them. Or they might think it happened to them, or they just like, you know what? I'm different. I can change them.
Yeah.
I can fix them. So you just try to do it in that space right there where
Yeah.
they go into it trying to take their hammer and their bucket and pail and their
Mhm.
lunch and try to fix a broken
Right.
person.
And I
Yeah,
think she did try that now, after she found out and everything. She was like having that mindset. But then he just, as soon as he found another, supply that he was willing to bring home, he got rid of her.
yeah.
And then she
See,
blames herself, which is really sad. She's like, if I wouldn't have doubted him, she's like, the only person she's mad at is herself for doubting him, is the last thing she told me.
for doubting him or for doubting everybody
Or
else.
doubting, yeah, for doubting him, if she didn't do that, I think she believes, like, it would have been okay, but
Yeah,
it's not her fault, and I wish she could understand that. And she also said, I just want to heal from this, like, to leave her alone. She wants to heal, so I didn't
yeah.
bother after she sent me that message. And I hope she is healing. I hope she's okay. Uh,
Happy
yeah,
healing. That's what I
happy
said.
healing.
Happy healing. That's all you can do is hope for the best. You did. So that's why I just tell people. It's just even in my coaching and things. When I'm telling people, all I can do is tell you. I can just I'm very good at predicting these behaviors. I'm pretty sure this is going to happen to you.
Mhm.
And some people listen, some people don't. The people who don't listen, a lot of times they end up regretting it or get a baby out of it. Get some charges pressed on them, get a restraining order, do something, react out of character and lose.
Right.
Hey, I'm just like, all right.
I
I don't say I
I
told you so. I'm just like,
Right, right.
You know, where do we go from here? You know,
Well,
it's, like,
and
it's happened.
I even told her right before, like, right when we started talking, and she was telling me how he was being kind of rude to her out of nowhere, and she didn't understand it. And I was like, "It sounds like you're in the devaluation phase. Like, start looking at narcissistic personality disorder, over narcissist personality, disorder. Check. So, if you went to, maybe that'll help answer some questions for you."
Mhm.
And I said, "It sounds like you're in the devaluation phase, which means he's ready. He's getting ready to discard you." And literally a week later, he broke up with her. And
Oh,
and and then she took him back. But
oh,
yeah.
oh,
So
that's
I
rough.
mean,
That's
yeah,
rough.
it's rough because it's like you want to help, but you also have to like wash your hands at some point. Like, okay,
Yeah,
it's on you now.
hey, it's all you can do sometimes is to wash your hands, to
Yeah.
wash your hands of it because you tried, and, that's all you can do
Yeah.
within that space. So that's why I just tell people, like, only you can just warn them if people are going to make their decisions. There, I mean, most people dealing with narcissists,
Yeah.
in a narcissistic, like, intimate relationships are going to be adults. So it's
Mhm.
just like, what else can you do? So
Yeah. Yeah. And then again, like I can't keep help, I'm done now. Like it's like, if somebody reached out to me, I'm happy to help validate their feelings in this, but that's all I can do.
yeah,
Um, and I also understand why you shouldn't sometimes. So, also I wanted to share a voicemail that somebody sent in so when she reached out to the new supply, this is what she got. So, it doesn't always go as well as most of the experiences I had. So here's her voicemail.
Good morning, Jennifer. This is Jaleb. I'm Robert's girlfriend. I don't engage in this petty stuff. I'm 46 years old. I have a degree in psychology. I'm very well aware of narcissism, and I'm also very well aware from not just Robert, but many other people aware of your behavior. Not just words, not arguments between you and Robert. As a matter of fact, Robert won't even talk about you. So the people around him are the ones that are warning me about you. Robert won't even talk about you. So I don't know how you got my phone. So I'm pretty sure it's you stalking him, not me, not him stalking you, because I don't even care if you have the ability to find my phone number and call me. I think it's ridiculous. But you need to grow up and go find your own life and leave Robert and me alone. And I know half of Pinal County Sheriff. So if you don't want to tango with somebody you don't want to tango with, the last person you want to tango with me. So I would stop. Do not call me or contact me again and leave Robert alone.
So,
yeah.
you know,
So that's what happens right there. So she in that situation right there, she reached out to the new supply to warn her, I guess, that she was dealing with a narcissist, and that's what the voicemail that she got in return was, "You're the narcissist. You're stalking him. He's happy. He don't even talk about you."
Mhm.
Um,
and she did, Jennifer did tell me too, that after she got that message that he actually hoovered her again in August and she went back to him
oh,
because they were on a break. And
that's
she made
messy.
that mistake of going back, and then it all happened over again. They're back together again. He went back to her now.
Hey, back to the
The
new
girl
supply.
had left the voicemail.
That's so messy.
Mhm.
Hey, that's what happens. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, that's part of the dynamic. And I just feel like so many people, when I hear that, just like, I study psychology, I have a degree in psychology. That does not make you immune to narcissists. I feel like when people say that, that doesn't make you immune to dealing with narcissists. I talk to a lot of people who are clinical psychologists, who are, you know, just been in the business for 20, 30 years of experience and end up with narcissists in toxic relationships, because sometimes, there's the kind of hubris right there. It's like, you know what, this can't happen to me. I studied, I know what gaslighting is. But then
Mhm.
you get in a relationship and you're like, damn, you got me. You got
Yep.
me, but hey,
Yeah.
each their own.
I mean,
That's how my mind goes in that space right there.
my ex was a psychiatrist. Is a psychiatrist.
Yeah. So you
And,
see, even from the clinical part of it right there, you see they can use their kind of knowledge to be manipulative with it and be toxic with it, just in that space and whatnot. So
do you
yeah.
plan on sending a link out for everybody, Lee, to share their quick, what happened when they did the new supplier overview?
Oh, are we gonna bring up the folks
Yeah,
first?
yeah,
I'll,
yeah,
I'll drop
yeah,
it.
me
So
too.
what we're gonna do, we have a couple guests who's gonna come on and share their story. But if y'all want to hop in the box over on YouTube, um, I'll drop the link in here. We can do a few tonight. Look, we can't do 20, can't not do 20. Just tell us what
Couple.
if you And the topic is what happened when you reached out to the new supply. I know everybody got a question about something else, and what happened when you reached? We'll do that next week. What happened when you reached out to the new supply? So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, and we can chat about that. When you reached out to the new supply, not doing co-parenting and all the other good. Look, no co-parenting. Hey, I gotta go to court next week. No, is the new supply the attorney? Just like Oh,
And I know my story was kind of long, so I'm sorry guys, but I wanted to like kind of give you a full range of, even with all that, it's just madness. So
okay.
Okay, here we go. So we have Ashley and Janie. They're going to come in and share their story. So these are our first guests of the night. Hey, girl. Hello. So, Lee, I'll let you guys start with asking a question.
So what is going on? So what is this? What is this dynamic? Are y'all both dual new supplies? Or is y'all what's the story here?
Supplies.
We're the old supplies. Oh, okay.
I was the first supply.
The first.
The
second.
and she's the second.
Oh, so we don't say old supply. We say experienced.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just joking.
I like that
better. So Ashley on the left. Okay. So you were the first.
Right.
Okay.
Janie's right. I'm left. No,
Janie's
left. I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ashley, you were the first supply. So how did
No, Janie, you were the first, right?
First.
It gets confusing around here.
The first supply. What happened?
The first supply. Okay, so I pretty much met him. Everything was good. We were going on dates, and he would tell me he loved me. I was in college at the time, so he would come to me on my breaks and bring me flowers and bring me lunch. I ended up getting pregnant 2 months in. And once the pregnancy was announced, that is when everything just went downhill. Mental abuse, emotional abuse, and it turned physical while I was pregnant. So I stayed with him all the way up till my daughter was born. And then I ended up leaving him when she was 6 months old. I said I'd had enough. I was scared. I didn't know where I was going to go, but I was leaving, and I left. A few months later, I was dumb, and I went back because he messaged me saying, I really want to work this out for our family. I really want to be a family with my daughter. I want to see her every day.
Mm-hmm.
You can come back and live with me. Let's work this out again. I said, okay. Packed up my stuff. I got to his new apartment. He said, oh, I just told you that so you'd come back with my daughter, but you can share the bedroom with her.
With Ashley?
No. I'm saying.
I was like, now.
That would have been crazy. If it was that would have been.
I was like, hold up now. Wait a minute. Y'all were roommate supplies.
Right. No, I had to share a bedroom with the baby. So he was in the crib. I was on a blow-up mattress. He had his own room. So he never wanted to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted his daughter there every single day.
Mm-hmm. So when did Ashley come into the picture?
Ashley didn't come into the picture until
Caitlin was 2.
My daughter was 2. So 2014. 2014, I believe, is when she came in the picture.
And were you guys still together?
So,
no.
But you guys were like, wouldn't you stay because he lived with his mom when I met him? Wouldn't you stay the night and then he would try?
Well, that was before.
See, I thought that y'all two were still kind of like.
We were still
doing things.
Yeah, we were still seeing each other here and there, but I had left again for good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had to have him Baker acted.
And
yes, and I left. It was raining. My baby was 13 months old, and I left. I packed a bag and I left, and I never returned. And then she came along when my daughter was 2, so around 2014.
All right. So Ashley, what happened when you came into the picture?
So I came into the picture, and
So I met him, and we spoke for about 6 weeks before I actually met him. And then I met him, and ever since the time that I met him, you know, it was kind of like the whole love bombing thing, you know, um, sending flowers to my job, you know, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Caitlin, and
Caitlin is
My
Caitlin's
daughter.
Janie's daughter.
Oh.
But see, I evidently it was told to Janie that, you know, I couldn't meet Caitlin until I met her, which is understandable. But I was under the impression that, you know, it was okay by him, you know. So I met her, and then Janie found out about me. So that's about the time she found out about me. And
was
then,
through the daughter.
yes, was that
Oh.
because
Right, because I had asked, I didn't want my daughter, she was only 2. I didn't want my daughter going around somebody until I had met them.
Sure. Yeah.
And I found out that she had already been around Caitlin, and she had already been around several times. And then I hadn't even met this woman yet.
So you guys were dating now. Ashley, you guys were full on dating, and now
Yeah.
you're involved with this child. And
Yes.
And then what happens with you guys?
So I think so. It's kind of funny because, like Lee was saying, what happens is they almost tell you before it happens. Like, it was almost like he knew that Janie was going to reach out to me or something. So
Mhm.
he already had the setup going. He was like, "Oh, if she writes you, you better block her. Block her. You can't be friends with her. She's this, that, and the other. You know, all these crazy things." And I'm like, okay, you know, not really understanding. And so she hits me up before I even block her.
Oh.
And she tells me about him, but I've already been swayed. You know, I've already been like, man, you're so full of it.
So when you said that, I just can imagine like him trying to shut the door, and like she just slides underneath it. She just she just slides underneath the door before she can get blocked out. Go ahead and block her. You just slamming the door. She just slides underneath it. Yeah.
Right. So I'm glad I didn't block her. You know what I'm saying? Because a part of me was just like, I don't really want to get involved like that. You know, I don't want to be a part of any drama. So I don't think, my mind was, she's not going to reach out to me kind of thing. But then she did. And so then she told me, you know, of course, like, you know, he's abusive, this, that, and the other. And then as time goes on, you know, like substance stuff, you know, things like that. And, you know, and then there was times that we would all be together with Caitlin doing something. And she would say, you know, things about him in front of him. And so then it started to, I'm like, you know, now my brain's like going, you know, but the first 2 years we were together, it wasn't, the signs were probably there, but they were so minor that it was like, you know, I probably had blindfolds on, you know what I mean? Just oblivious to it. But it wasn't until I got pregnant. So I get pregnant about 2.5, 3 years later.
Oh.
So they're 4 years. So it was about 2.5, 3 years later, I get pregnant. And about 6 months into the pregnancy is when it happens. The abuse. The abuse starts. It starts verbally, and then emotionally, and then mentally, you know, all that goes on. And then it wasn't until after my son was born, it got physical. And so I stayed with him because, of course, I, you know, fell in love with Caitlin. And I'm like, and now I have a child with him. So I'm like, well, you know, I'm going to try and make it work kind of thing. But it got to a point where you can't make it work. He started cheating. You know, I would catch him cheating. And then the women he was cheating on me with are attacking me. On Facebook when I'm trying to tell them, hey, listen, you know. So I got attacked by a couple women, to be honest. And then one of them ended up after it was either right before I left him or afterwards. She came clean. she came clean and said, I just want to let you know that when you reached out to me the first time asking me if anything was going on, there was stuff happening. And I'm like, oh my God, why would you I invited you to my home kind of thing. Like, you were in my house around a child.
So at this point, you're like believing Janie now.
So at this point, I start putting the pieces together. Everything's starting to line up. So then when I left him when my son was he was either 2.
I think he was almost 2.
Something like that. It was around that age. And of course it was back and forth. And I had hit Janie up. I said, look, I'm sorry for everything you and I've been through. And I believe you now, this, that, and the other. So we became really good friends then. We started to become friends. However, him and I were still going back and forth.
You were still in that cycle that Janie was now out of. You were done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was done. Now it's her turn, and she was going back and forth.
Yeah.
Her turn.
Yep. And so I had moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. I left him with the condo that was in my name because that's how badly I needed to get out, that I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. I went from a 3-bedroom condo to a 1-bedroom apartment with my child, But then he started coming over and staying the night and like making himself comfortable in my new place. And I'm like, what is what's going on? And then I would see in his phone that he was staying with me, but he was going out with other people when he wasn't with me at my apartment.
So it's like the same pattern that Janie was experiencing. Yeah. Now you're experiencing the same pattern.
Yes.
So then what happened to get you guys back together and now close friends and where you are now?
Of course, he was the main reason that if her and I ever had an argument or a problem, it was because of him. It was him trying to turn one against the other. And so finally, now we are finally at a point that we see through all the BS and we realize, hey, we're here for each other. We got to stick together for the kids. And, and so we had our falling out, became friends again. So.
And this is what I love about your guys' story, actually, is that you both have children with him. And so now the children get to be close with you.
Yeah.
While they're with you, the kids get to spend time together and still have brother and sister relationship. And then when they are with him, you guys have it worked out with your custody that he has both of the kids at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let me say this. She was a good stepmama. She took care of my daughter, and my daughter to this day still wants to call her stepmom. But we had to explain that situation. But like, my daughter will go stay at her house, or, her son will come to my house. They're here right now, chilling. So like, we do things together. We're taking them out this weekend. We see each other every day. They go to the same school, so we see each other every day. She picks up the kids for me since I'm at work. So we do stuff together. We hang out. So
yeah,
we're closer now than we've ever been.
Yeah. Cause I think in the beginning, like there was a point where, when we first became friends, because of course we only associated with each other because, a child was involved.
Right.
And,
so we didn't hang out
a lot. Hang out. Yeah. And, so when the friendship came, it was, I done lost my train of thought. That's right. Okay. So when the friendship came along, I guess I had been so traumatized, because I grew up with narcissistic parents. So I'm already traumatized by this point being with him, that I feel like they have like what they call flying monkeys.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like, she's in on it. She's just hanging out with me so she can like go back and tell him things.
Oh, that's interesting. You started to feel that mistrust. Yeah.
I had that paranoia. So some of that played a role. And of course I would be like, no. But yeah, so, there was still that trust barrier that I was afraid to get too close, but now it's different. That trust barrier is gone. Like, we've got each other's back, you know, no matter what. I'm here, she's there. We're just, yeah. If she needs something, she'll call me. If I need something, I'm calling her.
So how rare is this, Lee?
It's super rare. You rarely hear this type of thing end up happening. I heard people about becoming friends and things like that. I have heard that, but not the scheduling. So he has the kids at the same time. That space right there. That's very unique. So how does he feel about it overall? I'm sure he's not happy. The happiest camper.
We're both we're actually both going through court cases
with him
that are similar. So like we're both, 1 week it's me and a couple weeks later it's her, and then he's still
the threats
come in daily.
The threats are just woo.
And of course there's a new supply as well. So
that part, that's what I was going to get to the new supply.
Oh no.
Okay. The new supply, he was seeing me and her at the same time. When I found this out, I contacted her.
And
she confronted him, right? She confronted him. I was proud of that moment. However, he did the whole, you know, that lying scheme on her. He had his lies so good for her that she was like, you're the crazy ex-baby mama. Now I'm the crazy ex-baby mama. So
she was the crazy one.
Yeah.
And
so first it was Janie who was the crazy ex-baby mama. Now it's you that's the crazy ex-baby mama.
It's like you served your term, you know. You get sworn in as a crazy baby mama now. So
I reached out to her too. I showed her proof, like police reports, bruises, everything she needed to know, and she just was not hearing it.
Yeah, I had a restraining order on him when they got together too.
Oh,
like, why do you think I have a restraining order on him? How do you get a restraining order? They don't just hand them to you.
Right. So now she's still with him, right?
She's still with him.
They're
she's engaged, but she's still married to another man. She's engaged to him, but she's still married to another
man. Wow, this is some serious triangulation.
She is. And I will say, like, after about a year or two, me and her were, you know, we were okay to like talk about the kids or go have Easter with the kids or, you know, Mother's Day, things like that. But then he always wants to interject and be like, you don't need to be friends with Janie. You don't need to be friends with her. She's crazy. You don't need to talk to her. So he literally went in her phone and blocked my number.
Oh God.
She's also a person that has my child. You know?
I have another question.
Yes.
Is she pregnant by any chance?
No, I don't think she can have.
She can't have anymore.
Okay, because that's a woo, Lord Jesus.
She's got 3 of her own.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That's rough
really
right there.
Wild. That would be really wild if she was. Whew.
Well, maybe send us an update when she reaches out to you guys and all 3 of you are hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. The thing about it is she's reached out to us before.
Right.
She has.
And she's admitted a lot of things and that she's scared. She wants to leave. And then she never does anything.
She doesn't. She goes back. She's stuck in that web. It's a web.
Yeah. It only gets, it's kind of like it's kind of like she wants to get out of it. Like she's like a little fly stuck in the spider web. And she finally got out of it. She's like, I'm free. And she just flew back into it. You know? She flew back closer to the center where the spider is actually sleeping at, you know. This is like, you know, that happens too. That sucks.
Thank you guys. I mean, unless sorry, Lee.
No, I was just saying that it just sucks for her at the end of the day because she has kids going into that dynamic and into that space with that type of person that, you know, is physically abusive, has restraining orders. You know, I tell people, I just like, hey, you might not make it out. You know, you keep going back. Sometimes you might not make it out. Like, and you're like, what do you mean, Lee? I'm just like, if you believe in God, let's just say you won't have to pray anymore. Like you'll be face to face with God. You can have conversations with him face to face, you know, because they will send you there. Sometimes they'll take it too far, and it's wild. I can't believe she's still married though. Like, did she put their engagement ring on top of her wedding ring on top of the band? It's just
she's been married to this same person for what, 15, 16 years, and she never divorced him.
And the best thing is our baby daddy is the same name as her husband. They have the same name.
They do have the same name. They do.
That gets confusing too. Wow. Well, thank you guys for coming on and telling your story. And I love that you guys were able to make the children, like work with that environment to have like at least some sort of normalcy with each other as siblings,
Right.
Definitely.
and all this.
Yeah, that's a rough one right there. But appreciate y'all coming on. Like super thankful
Thank
and
you.
whatnot. Yeah, y'all be
Right.
safe. Take care of yourselves.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, that was a unique situation right there
Yeah.
and whatnot. Because that is goodness gracious. That is a wild. It got wilder at the end. Sometimes they always get wilder and build back up. Just like, and he's married, and I was like, oh goodness.
All
but
right.
yeah.
Let's see what Ms. Uplifting Tea. You're muted at the moment. If you're trying to talk.
Is that working?
There we
Yeah,
go.
there you go. How you doing?
So what
Good,
happened?
good. I want everybody to laugh because if you have been in a relationship with a narc, you have been through some things. So let's laugh. So I went narc free in 2020. The pandemic freed me from the hoovering and the triangulations and all the back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You got your narcissistic vaccine. You got vaccinated.
Yes. I was free, y'all. So at the time, he had no contact with the girls. We have two girls together, and I should mention my oldest is not his biological, but he's been there since she was 2. He was the person that taught her how to potty train, ride a bicycle. So that's that.
Mm-hmm.
And we still very much so respect that because that is still an authority figure. That's still somebody that we speak well of, just very, very limited about. So
what happened when you reached out to the new supply?
She came and found me.
Oh.
Okay.
I was shopping one day at her retail location and she saw me checking out, and he had said so many things about me to her, and then she saw me interacting with strangers and I didn't seem like this person, and so she showed up on my doorstep to tell me that she wanted to do the Brady Bunch thing, that she had an older kid and my daughter's going to be spending time and we should do the Brady Bunch thing. And I agreed because I'm a good person, because I knew this was going to fall apart. So about 6 months after that, they're taking these trips. My kid is loving it. She's getting new shoes and all this stuff. And, it kind of hits you in your gut. But I'm just biding my time. She shows up at New Year's to show me the ring. Again, unannounced at my house, randomly on my porch. Just, hello, how are you? Let's talk. I'm like, why?
Does he know she's doing this?
I'm assuming she's telling him that she's going to leave their location and come to mine and magically say words to me. So this time she's really excited, like, hey, it's going down in 6 months. It's New Year's, June wedding, bells, yay. Can the kid be in the wedding? Sure, let me know. I'm about the crown, the hat, the shoes, the dress, whatever y'all need. I'm going to buy it. Don't worry, because I ain't buying nothing. I already know I don't have to spend a dime. Mother's Day rolls around, so now the wedding is 30 days out. Hey, what we doing? Dress, crown, shoes, shirts, socks, what we doing? Oh, we're going to have a fit, and I'm going to call you about it. Cool. I know I ain't got to spend no money. So a week before, my sister-in-law has a kidney transplant. And I tell them, like, hey, I'm just coordinating with y'all. I do need to run, out of town for a few days. But trust me, if I got to put her on a bus, like, this is a big deal for y'all. I want to make sure, your flower girl is there. No communicado. So like 3 days before, I get a message that says, we're going to push it back to July. Now, anybody in the chat who's ever planned a wedding knows you can't call a caterer, a flower girl, or people that's doing food and bought all this stuff and tell them put it on ice for 30 days. Okay, thank you, cool. We ain't got to rush back from the transplant. The date of the wedding is 2 days before his actual birthday. So I just know they're going to throw this big old celebration. I hear nothing from these people until Thanksgiving. And what I get, y'all, and this is why this is kind of like a cool story. It was funny right up until now, was an outcry. He had a very serious crisis. And this person that he was going to marry, the person that he had put all his eggs in his new basket, even though we knew this was some foolishness, sends me a text message basically with some very serious thing where you should have been calling 911. I just get a text message, hey, I think you need to see this. This is what he just sent me. And so I haven't heard from them. That was in October, November. It is now February, and I have not heard from them. So
what was sent to you?
It was a letter to my kid telling her that she loved her, and if anything happened, This was his last letter to her.
What?
Like
She
a
didn't.
suicide.
Yeah, like this is serious. Like she didn't call 911. She didn't call the priest or the 988. She just sent his ex-wife a text message of a picture that he sent to her that he had sitting down and written out on a notebook sheet of paper. So I called 911 because no matter how much you've done to me, I will never stand in a funeral home behind selfishness and bitterness. That will not be my story.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't be my kid's story. So yeah, so then she disappeared off the face of the earth, and so he's been MIA. He came through for Christmas. He came through for the birthday, and then he's been basically MIA. I'm assuming gathering up new supply because he's pretty much burnt through that one. But it's just I want healing because these are people we're in community with. These are people we're in family with. But be careful when you reach out to the new supply. The love bomb stage is so complete. It is just so encompassing and engrossing and enthralling, and just be careful if they reach out at the point to where they're ready to leave, validate the things they're saying, but be careful because the Hoover is coming. And everybody have a good night, love.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and that's very interesting. And yeah.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on.
All right, we have Christy. Hi, Christy. Can you hear? Let's see. I can kind of hear you. I think you have to get closer to your computer.
Maybe I have my speaker too loud. Is that any better?
No,
Okay,
that's that's fine. So, what happened when you reached out to the new supply?
Oh my goodness. So I really didn't know about the new supplies. There was more than one, as usual. One of them, she called me right away. She knew of me, but he had told multiple lies that, of course, we had an agreement and he was just staying here until he was able to move. And they had been seeing each other for 7 months. And she's married and didn't want to admit to everything, but I could see through when she was telling me, yeah, he said a lot of sexual things, but I didn't listen, and he was going through some things and I was trying to help him through. And I'm like, but what was I, but she said that she told him she'd made it clear to him that she wasn't going to leave her husband for him. So that made me wonder, was there more? And then the other one sent me some really nasty text messages about all the places that they had had sexual intercourse. And she was a very nasty person.
So she was sending you all this?
Yeah. Well, I reached out to both of them because I was devastated at the time. It was the last night that I let him stay here. And I just asked her, do you know him? She's like, yeah, what about him? And we've been talking since April 22. We'd had sex in all these places, and that's all it is. And I knew all about you. But she's like, we all got to have more than one, girl. We got to be like them. So I wasn't walking. I was running to the doctor. I had to go make sure everything was okay. But there's been more. More have came out since we split, and that was November 15th. And it's been exhaustingly, emotionally overwhelming, mentally devastating because we were together 7 years.
Reach out to you? The new supplies reach out to you? Is what you're saying?
No, I've reached out to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've had one reach out to me.
And how did it go when you reached out to them? How did they react?
So the married one, I'd sent her a few text messages, and she said, sorry, she called me right away because she's married. She didn't want any hard evidence. So she's like, yeah, we started talking in May, and we've stayed in contact. I felt sorry for him because he was taking care of his parents, which was a lie because he totally displaced his parents, sold their home, and took the money and bought himself some property, and makes everybody believe he takes such good care of his parents, and displaced them into another state 3.5 hours away from their doctors, totally controlling of them, does not allow them to change their address or their Medicaid or anything to the other state. So they have to drive all the way up here to their doctors, and they're in bad health. But she felt sorry for him, became his friend. And I know they went to lunch a few times, and they talked and texted every day. And I seen the sexual text messages.
No.
So, yeah.
So, and you're the ex, right? And so every new supply starts. And do you have kids together? Is that why they keep reaching out to you?
no children, but we were together 7 years. He lived in my home for 7 years with me and my children, my grown children.
Okay, and then you reached out some of them to warn them, right? Like to try to
Well,
tell them.
I mean, I wanted to find out. Like, I knew he had been entertaining other women the whole entire relationship, but I didn't know how far it went until the end. And I found, because he deleted everything in his phone, deleted text message, deleted everything except for mom, dad, buddies, you know, until he didn't empty his trash. And I found the 2 sexual messages to these 2 other women. He was telling that he was living at his brother's when he was here. And my daughter's like, you need to get in that bed while he's asleep and take a picture of you guys asleep or laying in the bed together, which I'm glad I did, because, you know, they're like both not believing me. But the first 2 women that I talked to. But
how many in total did you talk to?
I've talked to 4.
Oh goodness. You talked to, so or is he still around now?
No, I haven't talked to him since that day. I said, don't call me, don't text me.
Okay.
No, come back around. I don't ever want to see you again. And he hasn't. Like, he's held to it, but he drives by my house. His parents drove by yesterday, and they must have been up from Kentucky for doctor's appointments. So it's nonstop.
Is your house on his normal route?
No.
Oh, okay, so he's not really sticking to it. And if he's taking that left and adding, you know, when you have your Google Maps up and it says, you know, similar route adds 8 minutes, that's not a more efficient route.
He's not.
You know, in there, he's just driving by your house. Like, so, you know, I would just always tell people, I don't know if you have cameras up and whatnot, but make sure to stay. Okay, make sure to stay safe, because you never know. Like, cameras don't stop people, but you know, it's a big deterrent. Like, oh, I'm on the camera, my you know, they see my face on my car or whatever. So
yeah,
that can be a good deterrent right there. Yeah. Just to protect yourself. Because,
because he is a loose cannon. So
yeah, he has a loose cannon. I'll say that, right. He might bring you home. He might bring you home something. You let him come back in that bed.
He was trying to come back. He's like, we can work this out. I'll move out. And I'm like, dude, if you weren't going to try to work on it in the 7 years we were together, you don't have a free pass to go see if something else works out and then come back. That's not how this works.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to go bang somebody but that was before I knew there was multiple other women already over the past 7 years. So
yeah, he was sampling. He was doing he was sampling whatnot. You know what I mean? But that's part of it. So I would just say stay safe and just protect your peace overall at the end. You know.
Thank you. So. It's a mental, emotional. The craziest thing I've ever tried to deal with. Betrayal is to the fullest the hardest thing to heal from.
Oh yeah. I can understand that. It's like you really do feel like violated. I even almost like psychologically raped when you find out all this, because you're just like, what? You know, this is all a lie. Like, it really feels like that. Like, it's a true violation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When everything you thought was true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They do take away your autonomy when they do stuff like that. So yeah, it is very comparable to that right there. Yeah, because you didn't sign up for multiple partners. You know, you didn't sign up for polygamy. Sometimes it's just like you get sworn into it later on behind the scenes.
Yeah. They put all the empty promises and the future faking and all the I lived it all, the whole 9 yards, the whole narcissistic NPD, everything, like every single thing, the gaslighting, the manipulation, all of it. He had all of it.
Mm-hmm. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying when you see the real person. You know,
yeah.
You're like,
I don't even know who he is at this point. Looking back, it's like I don't know that guy at all. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, crazy.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. Like, seriously, it means a lot.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Be safe.
All right. So I don't know if we want to put the link back up. We can
answer. Like, if y'all want to drop some questions in the chat, we can do that. And we do a quick Q&A before we hop off. We'll do the members only thing next week. If y'all want to hop and do that next week and whatnot. So before we do the Q&A, y'all, I actually released my first mini course today. My first mini course came out today. It's called Understanding the 7 Stages of a Narcissistic Relationship. It came out today. I'll drop the link in the comment section or the description or whatever, so y'all can check that out. I also started a group, a support group. It's called the Mental Healers, for people to communicate. And I'm gonna do like private Zooms and things like that as well. So I'll drop the link to my stuff in the chat so y'all can check it out. Y'all want to go on? It's called Understanding the 7 Stages of a Narcissistic Relationship. Is where we talk about love. The normal stages is love bombing, devaluation, discard, and hoover. So what I've done is added 3 more stages from the perspective of a narcissist. The first stage is selection and picking, like how you got here. Why'd you even get picked? Why'd you even get chosen? And then then it goes to love bombing. Why did the love bombing end? So I inserted a stage called fracturing. Why the love bomb ends. Then it goes from fracturing to, my mind went blank, the devaluation to discard, to then to a stage where I call storage and hoover, and then storage, recycle, and then to the hoovering. So y'all check it out, y'all. I'll drop the link there.
I highly recommend it. Very interesting.
She took it. I forgot. You took the course. So
I took the course. I learned so much. And the new stages that Lee added help make so much more sense. With the picking, choosing, where they're kind of studying you and kind of getting ready to reach out and understand what you're wanting. And then the fracturing stage was, I think, really about like where I was in that part of the relationship, because I was I was strong enough to get away from him a little, in some degree, before I caught him, because I was, we were just, it was crazy. So I think the fracturing stage makes sense, because I was being devalued, and then but still, like, he was still with me, wanting to be with me, and then the storage makes sense too, because there was a whole storage he had of other people that I found out about later, ready to go to start preying on them again. And it's very enlightening to see those different stages that I bet you guys will see a lot of yourself in your relationship in those stages. It's pretty fascinating. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, appreciate that.
I really enjoyed it.
So I'll do a few minutes of Q&A, y'all, before I gotta knock out here in a little bit. Somebody said she moved to the
shoot.
No, go ahead. Put it back up. Where did it go? So it says, who's the real narcissist when they call each other narcissists? Like who like in this space right? If they call you a narcissist, who's the narcissist? So in this situation right there, narcissistic people tend to want, you're gonna point fingers. Like a narcissist, if you call a narcissist, typically they will, it's kind of like playing tennis. They'll smack the ball back to your court, and then you'll smack it back to them, and you'll be like, no, you're the narcissist, you gaslight me. And they'll smack it back like, no, you're gaslighting me. So it all comes down to the fact is, like, are you willing to work on yourself? Are you willing to acknowledge what you have, your role in the relationship dynamic? Are you willing to go get help for it? If the answers to those questions are no, then you might be narcissistic. I'm good. I didn't have done anything. It's just like, if you're willing to work on yourself or to acknowledge your wrongdoings, then you might not be a narcissist. You might not be narcissistic. Is it possible that his new male friend is his new supply? He told him personal information about him to him. Also, it is suspicious or odd that they sent heart emojis to each other. So, could he be the new supply? Yeah, very, very, very likely he could be a new supply. Yeah, there are some, I would say this, some narcissistic people that are in the closet. Not all of them. I know I see that. You know what? All narcissists are, they supply. They'll do this, they'll do that. No, what I've seen happen, like actually today was happened. I've been talking to a girl for a while, like on some like coaching stuff, and then one of her partners or one of her exes just got exposed today, and he was being super narcissistic of her, and then he got released on Twitter today. So it just they was calling him the throat goat. So y'all do with that as you will.
Calling him with the what?
They was calling him the throat goat.
Oh boy. So if his nickname is the throat goat.
Yeah, they were calling him the throat goat. So yeah. So Could he? Yeah. If they send in heart emoji, so just me being real, you know, I've never sent in heart emoji to one of my homeboys. I just case like, hey man, we hope you're doing well. Heart emoji. Yeah. Hey, I haven't done it. You know, so that's just me. You know. I told him to stay away from me for the first time yesterday. Would he actually stay away? Do I have to worry about him? You know, realistically, they probably come back. You know, it's just like because those are just words. You know, he probably just like, oh, she still wants me. You know, she just, you know, she's it's the time of the month. She just wants she something's going on with her. She'll take me back. You know, so chances are he'll be back. So, but it doesn't mean you have to let him back into your life. I would say that right there. Yeah, most of them will pop back into your life. Should I reach out to the new supply? My son is now 5. She's been around him since he was 1. I've asked the father to meet her several times. He says he will, but it hasn't happened. They're getting married this year. So that's a very unique situation right there. Even if you reach out to her, I feel like y'all would have been taught by now. You know, if they've been around for 4 or 5 years now and y'all haven't met, it doesn't seem like she has the intent on meeting you. You know, I think that would have been happening by now. I don't think reaching out to her would accomplish it. I mean, I'm not telling you not to because, you know, but in that situation right there, that's very unique because it is a very unique situation. Like, why do you, because it doesn't sound like your ex has any intent on making that happen because he probably fears that what you'll say. So, and it's been so many years that he might already pre-program her to think a certain thing anyway.
Yeah, I know. Like with the kids' mom, I was just trying to stay out of it, so I wasn't. I could tell like she was kind of wanting to talk to me and trying to talk with me at times, and I just kind of shut it down because I didn't want to deal with drama. I didn't want to deal with anything. And he had told me the story about how his ex-girlfriend and she started becoming friends, and she ruined the relationship because of it. That his ex-wife ruined their relationship because they started becoming friends. And according now that I know his ex-wife and you know and the kid's mom, she was like, we were never friends. She never talked with that girlfriend. That was all a big lie that he told me just to make me feel like, you know, getting involved with her causes drama and we're gonna, you know.
Yeah.
All lies.
Yeah, that's Hey y'all, I'm going through divorce with a narc. He recently told me he may have cancer. Do you think he would make this up and why? So can some of them make it up? Yeah. I've heard that before. You know, I've seen the hospital bracelets. I've seen, you know, faking their death. You know, I only fake my death because I wanted to see if you cared. You know, some of them are testing your resolve. But like either way, in this space right here, even if he does like have that, what can you do? You know, what is your role to play right here? Let him abuse you because you feel sorry for him. You know, you still have boundaries on somebody that, you know, that has cancer. Like, oh, you got cancer? You know, man, that sucks, but you can't put your hands on me no more. You can't, you know, you just like, I'm not gonna let you beat me. You know, no. He started to spend more time with his friend than me. Oh, it's about the guy friend. I mean, look, hey, look. You might be sharing your boyfriend. You know, you might be sharing. You might be the new supply. You might be the side piece right now. That's what it sounds like. If he's spending more time with him, then you might be the side piece right now. Just being realistic. You might be the new supply. You might be the side chick.
I like
heard it too. Cancer. Yeah, I'm just telling you. Some of them will tell. I talked to a girl a couple years ago, and her boyfriend, like when they first like. He was actually going to the hospital for something else, but he told her he had cancer. And she talked to his she ended up talking to his sister. She's like, I'm just so sorry for your brother. He has cancer. She's like, yeah, what? Oh, he got a nerve impingement in his back. What?
No cancer.
Yeah, no cancer. He's like, I just lied to you because I didn't want you to leave me. What?
Because mine faked his death.
See, I told you they will. They will. Go to the edge of a cliff and throw their phone off the cliff. You know, just like, you got my location? Chuck it. You know.
Oh, gosh. My ex-narc said he had stage 4 kidney failure. And then he magically
cured with herbs, vitamins, you know, some chunky soup and some cheeks.
Wow.
That's all it takes. It's all it takes. Put a little Neosporin or some calamine lotion on it. That's back in the day.
and some
Clapping cheeks. That's all it takes right there. They will sleep with anyway. Yeah, a lot of some of them will some of they will sleep with anyone. Not all narcissists. Some narcissistic people are picky, y'all. Mine had 5 mini heart attacks. Like, it's just amazing how you have a heart attack when you get ready to be held accountable.
Maybe that's a good topic. Like what disease or
oh yeah.
What did the narcissist say they had? Try to bring you back around.
It's amazing how like accountability can raise your blood pressure or clog your arteries up. Just like, oh, the right side of my body weak. Just like it's just like accountability is just like it's like smoking cigarettes for 40 years. What's mine had throat cancer. That's what be happening right there, y'all. So I just feel like so many people be like, what happens when a narcissist gets with a narcissist? Toxicity. I actually let me on my channel real quick. I actually have a video. When is it? Give me 1 second, y'all. I actually have a video. It might be tomorrow. Hold on. I actually have a video coming out. Are narcissists attracted to other narcissists? This is tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow. That's my video. That's my podcast episode tomorrow. Well, no. Yeah, that's that's Saturday. Tomorrow is a narcissist dating profile. So if y'all don't follow me on YouTube, I have my YouTube channel. The episode tomorrow is about a narcissist dating profile. So you ready to check that out? I went through a whole dating profile.
Oh wow.
For a narcissist. I didn't make one. I know people was like, Lee, you gonna leave it up, aren't you? I was like, no. He's looking for an excuse to cheat, y'all. He's looking for an excuse to cheat. You just did it on episode.
I'm gonna put the link here too if you guys want to join the channel and support the show. We really appreciate it. So there's their link. Swallowed. Have you ever?
Oh, need this. Oh, that sound. You afraid me because you don't really handle. You don't really. Is that? I feel like I got a troll in there. They put that same thing. No, they put the same thing. I couldn't read it. It's like a foreign troll. Because I don't think it's crazy when you troll. English is not their first language. They try to troll you. It's like, okay, yeah. Chunky super cheeks. Yeah, it's amazing. I was just saying it's amazing in that space right there. So so yeah. Someone said, sorry, I'm Dutch. No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you trolling. It was somebody else. It wasn't you. There's the other person. That wasn't anything you wrote up there. Yes. Some narcissists are actually absolutely say this, y'all. They derive pleasure from you causing you pain and whatnot. So it seems like there's all women out here. It's narcissists, some men predominantly have. So it's not all. There's some. I've seen some men pop up in the chat too. There's men peeking in here. It just there's men peeking in here. They just I actually talked to a lot of men, but I think it's actually a scientific thing that narcissism any gender can be narcissist, but like it tends to be more men than women with narcissistic personality disorder. There's like women lean more towards borderline, but borderline people, they might have a little splash or something going on too. They're not all great people. I love it. Somebody said love it. So I think it's gonna wrap it up for today, y'all. So we'll be back same narc time next week. We might do that. Might do that topic next week about what's the craziest thing in narcissists. Craziest story they told you.
The sickness, or the
we'll come up with it. We'll come up with it. We'll come up with it. We'll work on it, y'all, in the back. Like I said, if y'all interested, y'all, I'm gonna drop the link to my course in the chat and whatnot. If you're on TikTok watching this, the link is in the bio for the course and whatnot. The course and the communities, course and support group and whatnot. ADHD, you're fake. I have ADHD. Do I have it?
I do.
Are you diagnosed? Is that a diagnosis? Is that an armchair diagnosis that people tell me I'm doing?
I've been diagnosed with it, so yes, I've got it. But all right, so yeah, we'll see you guys next week, and I also if you will follow my channel, I'll throw that in there too. I'll throw it in the comments real quick. Oh wait, this is
Is it?
join. Huh?
It's in the description of the video too, though. Yours.
Yeah,
You
I'm
got
gonna
it.
put it in the description of the video, and so you can watch my story as well.
I already
but
put
I'll
it in there.
on the
Your
channel.
channel is linked in the description already.
Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. Well, thanks again. Sorry, Lee.
Yeah. So appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. I will see y'all next week, and be safe. Take care of yourself. Waving the red flag with your favorite self-aware